Even in the desk.
Okay.
I was quite quick.
Should we bring on the stars of the show?
Yes,
Let's get them both in Park Ferme. There they are now. Okay.
Oh, here she comes.
Yeah.
What a beautiful car she is as well.
Here she is, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh, look
It's
at her.
beautiful,
She's
isn't she?
gorgeous.
There you go.
Oh, and there's the hot desk.
There's your little desk.
Look at it with an office full of people on it.
Okay,
as
with
well.
Ed China there, responsible for that amazing machine and lots of others. Okay, now Ian Fleming, talking about Chitty Chitty Bang, but Ian Fleming is known around the world for creating James Bond. But Cerys Matthews tells us all about how that famous car came to be.
The southeast of England is known for its beautiful coastlines. Ian Fleming, creator of James Bond, counted it as one of his favourite places. He came here as a child and returned again and again as an adult. In 1961, aged 53, Fleming was in poor health. He'd suffered 2 heart attacks and had been through a gruelling court case involving his latest Bond book, Thunderball. Fleming was tired of James Bond. He'd written 9 books, including 5 short stories. In fact, he was so fed up of him, he wanted to kill him off. The man with the golden pen was exhausted, and he came to this hotel, formerly known as the Dudley, in Hove, to recuperate. Despite doctor's orders, the instinct to write was too strong. And he decided to turn a bedtime story he told to his son, Caspar, into a children's book. And that story was Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
That's a curious name for a motor car. But that's the sound it makes. Listen!
While the famous film is set in Edwardian times, the book is set in the 1960s, and like the film, tells the story of Commander Potts and his family, and the magical car that gets them out of the scrapes they encounter on their adventures. Lucy Fleming is Ian Fleming's niece, and was very close to him throughout his life.
He loved cars. He just adored them. He loved driving. You know, they're always in the Bond books. After the First World War, there were lots of huge aero engines left lying about, and they put them in these fast cars. And I think the idea of an aero engine in a car, possibly, gave Ian the idea of a flying car.
It makes it even more poignant to think that he was writing this story specifically for his only son.
That's right. Caspar was sort of 8 or 9, I think, and Ian used to tell him stories. And what child doesn't like being stories made up especially for them?
But Chitty Chitty Bang Bang wasn't just a product of Fleming's imagination.
There was a car, it was called Chitty Bang Bang, and it was built by a Count Zabrowski in the early 1920s.
Great name.
Great name, and a great charismatic man as well. And he raced this enormous beast of a car at Brooklands racetrack. And Fleming saw Zabrowski race there, saw him race this car, Chitty Bang Bang, and that must have fired his imagination from a very, very early age, because Fleming would have been just a boy. Then a curious thing happened. The steering wheel twisted, actually twisted, in Commander Potts' hands, as if Chitty Chitty Bang Bang realised their disappointment and was taking control herself. And you know what? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang turned away from the coast and soared away over the English Channel, straight out to sea.
And you can really imagine her flying right over the shoulder.
What's happening? No! Oh, it's fantastic!
And like the film, the book involves gun-running gangsters who kidnap Commander Potts' children in France. But Chitty saves the day, and she and Commander Potts rescue them and fly them over the Channel, safely back home to England. Ian Fleming sent the very first draft of the book to his publisher, Michael Howard, who replied, "She is truly an invention of genius, and I trust you can reel off at least 10 more episodes with no trouble at all." Sadly, Fleming didn't live to see his only children's book published. His health deteriorated, and he died 3 years later on the 12th of August 1964, the 12th birthday of his beloved son, Caspar.
Ian adored Caspar. He did love telling Caspar these stories, and then, you know, when he wrote them down for him, it was even better.
The story of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang touched many people of all ages. It certainly touched Caspar. But he never got over the loss of his father, and in 1975, aged just 22, he took his own life. It would have been the 64th birthday of Ian Fleming. Such a sad end to the life of a small boy who had helped inspire such a wonderful story.
much, Keris. Well, that was the book. This was the car that was in the film. And the lovely Cary Grant is here now to tell us about the music. Tell us about this amazing partnership then that developed.
It is interesting because those family films, the songs are almost as memorable as the
That's
stories.
right.
And Chitty Bang Bang was written by the Sherman Brothers. They were the favourites of Walt Disney. They wrote over 200 songs, 27 movies, 9 Academy Awards, and their songs are so catchy. Let's have a little go. Let's see if our audience get me. So we've got Mary Poppins.
Okay, Mary Poppins.
Right, and then the next one is Jungle Book. Let's have a little bit of Jungle Book.
I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you.
Oh yes. And then those songwriters, they always have that song that becomes the bane of their life. It's just a little bit too catchy. Played on a loop at Disneyland.
And
that's what I just said.
That's what you were talking about.
Oh, no, not Disneyland.
Yeah, everywhere throughout the world.
Is there a formula, though, at the root of all these songs, then, that makes them so catchy?
I think there is. For instance, the Sherman Brothers used the same chords underneath the verse as the chorus, so you could interweave them. Then they often go up in steps, so you've got dilly, 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 or it's a small word after all, it's a small word after all, it just goes on and on. And they become a total earworm, which is the song that gets stuck in your head and you can't get rid of it.
Right. Well, I tell you what, we've got the weather next.